welcome to For the Record. I don't know what accent that was. I was trying to pull a Miss Doubtfire out of me, but I'm going to be honest, that sounded nothing like Miss Doubtfire. But I welcome to the podcast. I am, as always, your host, Landyn Zane, your amazing musician, favorite future pop star, all these adjectives, favorite host of your favorite podcast, For the Record. Welcome. I hope you're doing well, whenever you are. I'm in immense pain. I have a canker sore right above my lip, and I have poured copious amounts of salt into it and done every regimen I can to treat it, and nothing has helped. So if I sound like I'm slurring or talking weird, that may be why. Because I am, if you're watching the video, if I talk enough or I hit it, or if when I talk, it hits it wrong, I literally will well up in tears and it looks like I'm going to cry. So that's what I'm dealing with. What else is new with me? My song, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, my song comes out tonight at 11, depending on where you are. It comes out tonight or tomorrow. My new single, Searching for You. I'm super excited for it to come out. I would love to know what y'all think. Save it, stream it, add it to your playlist, send it to your friends, post it on social media, everything you can. I appreciate the support, and I hope y'all love it. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What else do I have going on? I'm going to Iowa in a few weeks. So I'm going to Florida. My mom's flying me out to Florida because they're going on vacation. She's going to fly me out. And then I'm going to go back to Iowa and spend a week in Iowa, a little more than that, to see my family. And I'm really excited. But in order to prepare for that, I am working a lot more, so I don't have to work as much in Iowa. And in the past 3 days, I've worked almost 40 hours, which is it's a lot, but it's also not a lot, but it's a lot. So I'm oh boy. And there's so much for the new single that I have to I should be preparing for, but you know what? Money I think is more important than the new single, especially because I saw this TikTok I got sent this TikTok, and then I saw it on my For You page too, of this one person was saying if you're an indie artist, don't tease a song before it's released, because what the hell is this? This person was what the hell am I going to do? You're showing me this song, and I'm oh, I like it. I want to listen to it. And I click on it, and it's not out yet. What is this person supposed to do? And I totally agree. So I'm kind of going to push marketing more after the song is out, because it will, people can actually stream the song when the song is out. If the song's not out, they have no way to stream it, which is no shit. But that's kind of what's been going on lately with me. Today's a Q&A episode. Last episode was the Taylor Swift episode about the new Taylor Swift album. And the original schedule was that the last episode was going to be the Q&A episode, and this episode was going to be kind of the whatever I want episode, but I switched them, so the Taylor Swift episode would come out first. So here we are with Q&A stuff. And I asked, I think 10 people. I said, hey, send a little text. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Can you do me a little favor? Nothing too important. Doesn't have to be super intense. Just write me a few questions, if you would, for a Q&A episode of the podcast. I would really appreciate it. I asked probably 10 people. I got 2 answers. My sister and my friend, Sebastian, who's going to be on the pod eventually. And he sent me questions that he wrote when he was high as a kite on 420. So the jury's still out on whether these questions he wrote are going to be quality, but we're going to power through them anyways. So I think there's nothing else to it but to do it. So I think we should just dive in with the old Q&A. So let's see what we got. Here we go. All right, we're going to start with my sister's questions. Question 1. Who is your favorite and least favorite sibling? Favorite sibling. I'm going to have to go. I'm a Kylie guy, a Kylie Jenner, or probably a Kylie Jenner, or I like Chloe, but probably Kylie. My least favorite, or a Kendall Jenner. My least favorite is probably Kim. I'm not a big Kim guy. I think that's what my sister meant with that question. So I'm going to assume I answered it correctly. Question 2. What is a moment in your life that you wish you could articulate better so you could make it into a song? That's a good question. Oh gosh. I was talking about this. So actually, I went to hang out with Sebastian last week, and it was the first time we'd seen each other in a while. And I hung out with his friend, my friend Steven, too. And Steven and I were talking about like memory and how we don't have a lot of memory from our childhood. And like why. Mine is like a combination of I'm trying to think. Like mine is the main thing about it is I got in a car accident when I was 16, and it was a bad accident. Like I rolled my car, black ice, rolled it into a ditch. Bad. Bad car accident. But I didn't get injured as far as I knew, but I did black out when I got in the accident. And I've since realized looking back that like, while there wasn't any real like physical things that happened to me other than my body, I literally felt like I got ran through or hit by like a Guinness truck after the accident. It was like the most sore I've ever been. But other than that, for a while I thought like there was no long-term things, but I've since realized that since getting in that accident, there's a lot of memories, especially around that time, but kind of in general of my childhood before that I really don't remember. Like I really have very, very little memory of a lot of things around that time, especially, but also before that. Like the main one being that my family went to Boston around, oh gosh. I see it like I really can't remember around when that time in my life was. And I know we went, and I have little memories, but there's a large part of that trip that's just like, it's not that there are things I know are there that I can't remember. It's that there are things I know simply are not in my head anymore. And that has to be around the car accident. If we went to Boston afterwards, that might throw it for a loop, but I'm pretty sure it was around that time. I don't know, but to go back to my sister's question of like moment in my life I wish I could articulate better, it's not really like I would like to think I'm pretty self-aware. Some people would probably say otherwise. My therapist likes to tell me I'm self-aware, so I'm going to go with his opinion. But I think I'm pretty good at articulating my emotions in moments in my life. But I think it's more of I wish I had the memories. I wish I had more memories so I could go and get really nitty-gritty on specifics that I simply just don't have. So that's probably the best answer I can give for that question. Yeah. Question 3. If you had to only use your Lightning McQueen CD player from childhood for listening to music, how long do you think it would take for you to go insane? So, I don't know if y'all know about this. When Cars came out, they had this little Lightning McQueen CD player, and it was literally like a red like square, but it was rounded, and it had like a handle you could pull up, like and say anything, but it wasn't a boombox. It was like just this little CD player, and it was literally Lightning McQueen. It looked like Lightning McQueen, and my sister and I use that thing all the time. And there's one of two ways I could take the question of like if I could listen to whatever music I wanted, but it was just with CDs in that CD player, I'd probably be fine. I'd probably be pimping. Because new technology, this new generation, the Gen Alpha, and a lot of my generation, they love them some retro technology, which I think is dumb. I think it's dumb. But if I had to be, like, only could listen to music with that Lightning McQueen CD player, I'd be pimping. I'd get like a belt loop and some string and some yarn and just tie it in a belt loop and hang it off the handle and just walk down the street with it like swinging. Or like throw it in my car seat. I'd be pimping. But if I had to listen to the music from that time that I listened to in that CD player, I would go insane in 24 to 48 hours. Because it was literally like, I think the only thing I can remember listening to is like the Car soundtrack and the VeggieTales, The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything CD from the movie. I think that was it. And as fire as some of those songs were, and some of them are still pretty good, I would go insane. So depending on how you want to slice that. There's your answers. If you could go back to any point, what? Oh my gosh, I might have a stroke reading this. If you could go back to any point and write a song for any movie, what movie would it be, and what is the vibe of the song? I'm gonna go. Oh gosh, that's a really good question. Well, I think the obvious answer is like pick your favorite movie, which for me, my favorite movie is La La Land, and I don't know if y'all have seen La La Land. You know, the music in that movie is perfect. So like me, like Landyn Zane trying to write a song about that, like La La Land featuring a featured song from Landyn Zane. Like nobody needs that. That's not needed. So like the obvious thing then would be like, okay, pick a movie from my childhood. And if I had to pick a movie from my childhood, I'd probably just pick I'd probably pick a Robin Williams movie, or like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. And it's either like, there's like one of two, Miss Doubtfire or Aladdin. And there's really only one option from those two, because Aladdin is a musical and has one of the best, if not the best, Disney songs and soundtrack. So I'm going to go Miss Doubtfire. And like, what would the vibe of the song be? It'd be like it'd be a family song. It would be like me singing about Robin Williams and family and love and Sally Field and the girl from Matilda being one of the kids, and dressing up as a woman. I'd work all those things in there. I'd work in some drag references too, because Miss Doubtfire is literally just a movie about a guy dressing up in drag so he can see his children. Not like, but not trendy drag. Miss Doubtfire is old woman drag, which still drag, but like I would probably work that in there. But that's what I would write. That's the movie, and that's what the song would be about. Question 5: dream song collaboration with the female artist. Ooh. Oh gosh. Can I pick Elton John when he dressed up in drag? No. Okay. Let me see. If I had to pick a female artist I would collaborate with. I have a lot. So like the obvious pick is Taylor Swift, but I feel like in general, the Taylor Swift train has become saturated. So people probably want a different answer from me. So I'm going to go like, there's a lot. In my opinion, pop music is just females right now. And then like three men that are dominating. And then the rest is just women. Which is like, they're doing it better, if we're being honest. Like, they're just doing it better. So it'd be like, I have a list. Like, Caroline Polachek, Olivia Rodrigo, Gracie Abrams. Those are probably my top 3. If I had to pick one, probably Gracie Abrams. Just because, like, gosh. Or the Japanese House. That album was fire, too. I'd probably go Gracie Abrams of all of them, though, because she's such a talented songwriter. And Good Riddance. If I have to look back at 2024 or 2023, if I have to look back at 2023, I really do think Good Riddance is probably my favorite album from that whole year. And like Full Machine, man. I know I'm not deep into Gracie's fandom. I've kind of fallen out. Like I was a deep Swiftie for a long, long time, and I've kind of pulled back as I've become. One, I don't really have the time to be part of a fandom because it just like takes time to be constantly involved. And like as I become more of an artist and build my own platform and stuff, I'm like, I just kind of want to do my own thing. But so I'm not really into Gracie Abrams fandom that deep, and I don't know a whole lot about everything, but her song Full Machine is one of the best songs I've heard in years. It's incredible. It's such a good song. And that whole album is just amazing. And she probably is my dream female collab for an artist if I had to pick one. If I could pick more than one, there's a list of like 50. But of all of them, it's probably Gracie Abrams. Next, question 6. Collaboration from hell for you. Oh, God. So, for the clips, for the clippy clips, for the social meds, for the TikTok, the reels and the shorts and the tubes, I should pick something controversial just because it will get more views. And so I'm going to go Prince. I think Prince is my I think Prince is my collaboration from hell because I think Prince is one of the greatest artists to ever do it. Pop music and music in general. But I think everything I know about Prince's working style and the way he works and the speed at which he works and how efficient and how quick he works, I don't think that would work for me. I'm more of a there's interviews with the engineer he worked with. I can't remember her name. The engineer he worked with for a lot of his career, she literally says that he recorded some of his biggest hits were recorded in 1 or 2 days, and a lot of them. And that's just not how I make music. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I actually think if I could make music the way he did, I would love it. But I have to let songs sit and marinate and kind of live so I can know what works and what doesn't, and I can figure it out more. And I think me working with him, other than the fact that it would be Prince and it would be one of the greatest moments of my career, in terms of the way we work, I don't think we would work together well at all. So that's probably my collaboration from hell. That being said, if he was still alive and I got the opportunity to work with him, even if it wouldn't go well, obviously I would take the chance. But in order to pick something that is a little more controversial, quote unquote, I'd probably go Prince. Question 7, right? Yeah, question 7. What pushed you more toward music versus film? So this is an interesting question. So originally, I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast yet. So originally, when I got done with high school, my plan not only when I got out of high school, my plan for, probably 10 years of my life was become a filmmaker, become a writer, a director, an actor, all of it. I graduated high school and I moved to Texas, and I went to a community college and was getting my 2-year there so I could save money, and it was just getting my 2-year, and it was a film 2-year degree. And within the first semester of doing that, it took very little time for me to realize I absolutely hate the filmmaking process. I hate it because I am very knowledgeable in film and music obviously more now, but I knew everything about it when I went, and I was like, I know exactly how this is going to go. And I show up, and the one thing I forgot when I was preparing myself with all this information and things I was going to do with film is I forgot that I was going to have to rely on other people, and I was going to have to wait for other people to get their thing together. And I was going to have to creatively rely on other people to help me get my job done. And it took about a week of really deep into it for me to realize I absolutely hate waiting on other people when I'm being creative. In order for me to be truly fully creative and to prosper creatively in terms of whatever I'm making, it's very vulnerable for me just because that's how I process a lot of things. And waiting for some fiddle fuck that's sitting on his ass playing Flappy Bird when it's not even available on the App Store, and somehow he's got it, or he's playing Pokemon, or him and his girlfriend that isn't even in the class, just came to visit, she's sitting there, and we have a script, and we're waiting for him to go get a battery, or he's waiting in the director and all this stuff, waiting for people creatively, I can't do it. I very quickly realized, I'm going to, if I have to do this full time, I will assault somebody on a set. Because and I'm obviously being dramatic. Somebody left a comment on a YouTube short, and I was talking about how I was talking about one of my biggest pet peeves and how it's when people tell me what I think, and that guy said, "You have anger issues. You have this." Shut up. I'm being dramatic, okay? There's a dog barking. There's a dog. There's a dog barking. Shut up. I'm being dramatic. This is a podcast. There's real issues going on in the world, my friend. If you think commenting, if I care, one. Two, this is for comedic purposes. Even if it's not funny, it's for entertainment. I'm not being serious. That much. Like, I still meant it, but, like, relax, my friend. Relax. Go get a hobby. Go find something. Leave me alone. But, like, I realized, back to the film thing, I realized that, like, I can't work with other people creatively because they just seem to take forever. There's a dead bug. I'm not going to eat it, though, because that would be gross. I don't know why I even thought about that, but I'm not going to eat the dead bug, if y'all were wondering. And then I found music, and I realized, like, I can make music. Like, I realized there's this thing with music, and I had already been making beats since I was in high school on my computer, on, like, GarageBand, and then I got Logic. And I realized I can write a song, I can sing the song, play all the instruments, I can produce it, I can mix it, I can master it, I can make the cover art myself, and I can release it myself. All within the confines of a bedroom or wherever I am, and all by myself. And the second I realized that I could do that, and I could do it relatively well, I've since gotten significantly better from where I started. It was horrible when I started, like everyone else is. But once I realized I could do that, it was it. That was a wrap. Film was over for me. And it was just music, because I could do it by myself. And I'll probably eventually, after music, I'll probably want to experiment with film or try something or try acting or something, just because everything creatively interests me. And maybe I'll try it then. But at that point, I realized music was the way forward for me. Yeah. Question 8. When do you think... No, wait. Question 9. Question 8? Question 8. I already read that one. Question 9. LA explodes, Texas is flooded, Iowa was sucked up and transported to the moon. Where are you moving? Well, here's the deal, sister. If LA explodes, I'm in LA. So I'm dead. Or I'm like, well, if it explodes, I'm on fire. And it smells like beef jerky that has gone bad. I'm going to be getting eaten by like a coyote or a vulture. I don't know if there's vultures in LA. Probably, because it's a desert area. I think, is LA a desert? LA's a desert. It's got to be, right? Or it's around a desert, I think. I don't know. You tell me. But if I was like, let's say I was in Poughkeepsie for some reason. Found myself in Poughkeepsie. Shit goes down. LA explodes. Texas is flooded. Iowa was sucked up and transported to the moon. Where am I going? London. This is an obvious question. London is the best place I've ever been on the planet. My family went there a few years ago for vacation for a week. I didn't want to leave. And it wasn't like I don't want to leave like a joke. It was truly, if my family would have told me, Landyn, we are allowing you to stay here. We're going to give you a few $100 and you're going to figure your rest of the way out. And you're just going to have to get scrappy and figure out how you're going to survive in London. I would have done it. No hesitation. And I'm not joking. I would have stayed. And I think at that point, my family, obviously they didn't, my like siblings and my dad and my stepmom were like, let's get on the plane. We're going home. You're a moron. But I think if they would have given me the opportunity, they would have thought in their head that I wouldn't have stayed, and I would have stayed. And I think now they realized since I've moved to LA, because I basically like dropped everything and was like, I'm moving to LA and I'm going to be a pop star. Da da da, na 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 na. Like, and then like that completely, I think everyone thought I was going to stay in Iowa or not come to LA, and I did. And I think at this point, if I said I was going to drop everything and move to London, now they would believe me. But yeah, no, if I had to not be in LA, Texas, or Iowa, it'd be London. Because other than they have, oh boy, all right. If you live in London, I love you. If you're UK, let me tell you, your accents, something about them, like, it's over. If you want an immediate in with Landyn, you got that accent, got it on lock. It brings you up like 3 points. But, okay, guys, I'm going to be honest. And I love Indian food. And y'all London people, you got the Indian food. But, like, I don't know what y'all have against salt in your food. and I don't like salty food. I'm not a big salt guy. I grew up, my mom can't cook for shit, so I was a salt and pepper guy a little bit, but I'm not a big salt guy. But my brother and I got McDonald's when we were in LA, or in London. This was 3 years ago. How is it that y'all even messed McDonald's up? How? Even the McDonald's was disgusting. It was like chewing on rubber because there was no salt. Like, where's the salt in the food? Where's the flavor? And I love fish and chips. I like bland-ish food. But y'all's food sucks. Y'all got to get it together. You got to throw some spice in there. I know y'all are like, we're the original Americas. We've got all this stuff. Look, y'all want to make like a good cheeseburger? We'll let you have it. Y'all want to make like an apple pie or something that has like spice and flavor and dimension that isn't potato. Please do. Because other than the food in London, it's my favorite place on the planet. But the food is awful. Truly awful. And y'all got to get it together. Because, like, I think the food the food in London might be so bad that it may be the reason y'all lost the Revolutionary War. Because if it was like the U.S. versus the kingdom today, and it was just a food battle, dude, y'all would drown. If it was like a double bacon cheeseburger with some fries or some sweet potato fries, some tater tots, mashed potatoes, ribs, whatever, and then you start throwing in different cuisines, some soul food, you got some Louisiana, you get some Texas, some Tex-Mex, some real Mexican, you throw all of it in there, and you put it up against fish and chips. And I love fish and chips, but like, y'all are losing. Up the food game, London. I love you, but you're hurting. Next question. Yeah. Question? No, those are all my sister's questions. Sister's questions are over. Sebastian's questions are next. Disclaimer, he wrote these questions when he was high as a kite on 420. So, that being said, if they're terrible, we'll cut him some slack. Question 1. What is the biggest regret or fumble? What is your biggest regret or fumble to date? Okay. If he's meaning relationship-wise, I don't date. I just don't. I don't like it. I'm not in a place, one, financially. I got to do me. I got to take care of myself. I got my own stuff going on. I don't need to worry about somebody else. I got enough to worry about on my own. Relationship right now, not for me. So it's always like, it's like the regret that everyone has of like when you were young of like, I didn't ask the girl out in high school. And there were a few girls in high school that I like, looking back, I was like, I could have asked them out. Like I literally 3 weeks after I graduated, no. It was like 3 or 4 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks after I graduated high school, I moved to Texas, which is 800 miles away or something from Iowa. So, like, I probably could ask those girls in high school out that I wanted to. Granted, they probably would have said no, but at least I would have known. So that, in terms of relationship-wise, that's probably my biggest fumble, which isn't that bad. In terms of life, I think a big regret and fumble of mine and just life-wise is I think I'll probably always have this in my life, just because it's kind of become my disposition of I wish I could have been kinder and nicer. Always. Like, and I just think that's something of growing as a human being and getting older, is that I'm just going to have to learn to forgive myself regularly. And I'm getting better. But, like, I think I will always be able to, I think I'll always look back at some point in life and be like, I could have been kinder. Like, I could have been nicer. There was moments when I was mean. I was kind of an asshole in high school at certain points and before that. And kind of always, all right, we're back. That's annoying. I hate when it does that. I need a new camera. I'm still saving the money. I've got $6 saved for a camera that I think is $650. So we're getting there. We'll be there by 2028. But I think just back to what I was saying in general of like learning to forgive myself in life, of that there will always be an opportunity where I could have been kinder, and that is just going to have to be something I kind of accept. And there's also times where like there's the other side of that of like times I could have stood up for myself more, and when I should have like stood my ground. And I've definitely gotten better at that in life. Of like now in my life, I just don't take people's shit. I just don't. And I have no problem standing up for people now, for me or other people. But growing up, it was a lot harder for me. So there's also times where I could have stood up for myself more, and I've gotten a lot better at that too. So I don't know. That was a vulnerable question. That I think he was probably just talking about relationships, but I don't know. But you got both. Next question. Question 2 from Sebastian. What has been the biggest life lesson you learned since moving to LA? This one's easy. I've learned a lot. I think there are moments in my life that I can really look back to in like in the span where I learned more in the span of like a month or a few weeks or very short periods of time than I would have in years prior. And I think the 3 months I've lived in LA, a little more than that now, I've learned more about myself and my life and what I want and who I am than I truly think I have in like all 4 years of high school combined. I think I've learned more about myself in 3 months than I did for 4 years. And the biggest thing I've learned just for life in general, and the biggest lesson is that like since I've moved to LA, one family member has passed away, and another family member that was an animal. And death is always kind of at the top of my mind. This is going to get a bit morbid, but like there's always kind of this reminder of like we're on a clock. Like no matter what religion you believe in or anything like it, that this life, the one we're living, is finite, and we are all going to die at some point, and it will run out. And that's really become a thing that I think about a lot of like, look, I could go out like Miss Doubtfire's husband. I could be hit by a Guinness truck like he was. I could just dead. Heart attack. I could croak anytime. And I'm nowhere where I want to be in my life, but I'm enjoying it, and I am happier than I've ever been before. And I'm not saying this isn't hard. This is also the hardest thing I've ever done. But the biggest lesson I've learned is just like, this is the greatest thing I've done for myself. And it really has helped me realize like, look, I'm going to die. So every bit of judgment from anyone I went to high school with, any family member, any family friend, anyone remotely around me, like parents, friends, siblings, anyone. And I'm not saying any of those people judge me. I'm just saying I know when I told people that I was moving to LA, there was this kind of overarching air of like, what the fuck is he doing? And I've really realized that since getting here, like, I just don't give a fuck. I just don't care. And I think that's the only way you can live life is just like, look, man, it'll be over one day. The clock will run out. Like that buzzer beater, I'll still have that moment. I could still get that, but it will hit 0 and the game will be over. And I don't want to waste the time I have now worrying about what other people think I should do with my life or who I should be based on other people or other people's opinions on whatever I do. I just want to do me. I want to do what I think is going to be best for me. And that has really been solidified in my head since moving to LA. And it's not easy. It's not always the easiest thing. But I've gotten a lot better of like being in my own head and just being like, I can't care about what these people think because they're not Like, they're not sleeping on a couch. They don't know. They can judge me all they want, but they don't know, like, I'm sleeping on a couch in a tiny, borderline, like, literally shed, and I'm working my ass off, and I'm doing everything I can and trying to do everything I can to make this work. And I've, like, little by little, I'm kind of etching away at this thing of, like, don't care what people think. Don't care what people think. Don't care what people think. Just do your thing. Make sure you care about you. Make sure, like, the thing for me is, like, if I can have my own mental health in order about myself, my own self-worth, and my own self-confidence, and I'm not even remotely saying that I have that all figured out. I'm in therapy. I'm working on it. And I'll probably always work on it. And that's a good thing, as long as you're growing. But it's really, I think, the most important thing in life, or one of, is just do what you think is best for you. And that's absolutely the biggest lesson I've learned since moving to LA. Because if you asked, I think, almost anyone I went to high school with, if they thought it was a good idea for me to do this, no, they would say no. They would say, Landyn, he's not moved to LA. He's a moron. He's dumb. He don't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. Or no, well, it's from Iowa, so be like, Landyn, what are you talking about? He moving to LA? He's gonna be pop star? He's going Hollywood? No, he don't. It's not gonna work. I don't know why I sounded like some, like, 80-year-old Southern man, but that was my best, like, real redneck accent I can do. So, like, and I'm also friends with a lot of people that talk like that, or have old high school friends and buddies that have accents like that. So, like, some of those people have actually supported me and been super nice. But just, like, speaking in general of, like, you just can't care what people think. It's not a good way to live life. It's not a satisfying way to live life, because no matter what happens, especially trying to become a public figure, you very quickly realize how often they're turned on. Like, people can be the biggest thing ever one day. One thing can happen, and in the span of 24 hours, the public perception of them can literally shift day and night, and they can be the most hated person on the planet. And if that person lets their own self-worth be determined by other people's thoughts, it will destroy them. So I'm just trying to make sure, like, I'm in my own thing. I'm doing my own thing. And, like, I've got my people, and I love my people, my family, my small circle of friends, the people I'm really close with. And that's all I need. And I don't even care what those people think. Or I try not to. I care what those people think about me based on my character, but based on my actions and what I want to do with my life, I don't let them make the decisions for me. That was a lot, but if I could talk about that all the time, I talk about that a lot. I feel like this podcast will slowly more and more just become motivational, which is not what people want. Because then I'll make a freaking poop or fart joke or, like, ADHD thing, and it will just come completely out of nowhere. So, but that's the biggest lesson I've moving to LA. All right, question 3. That was a great question. Sebastian he's 2 for 2 on questions. Question 3: dream venue to perform at. He put preform. Dream venue to preform at, and dream opener. So he was high. Preform, perform, close enough. My dream venue, and anybody that knows anything about Elton John, and about, like, I have the I have the snow globe here that there's only, like, a few thousand of were made that my mom got me for my birthday or Christmas. It was the only thing I asked for the holidays, because all I wanted was money for my move to LA, but this was the only thing that I physically asked for because I wanted it so much, because it's so cool. But anyone that knows anything about Elton John and my love for Elton John is that other than the Dodger Stadium performance, probably his most famous performance of his career was when he premiered in the U.S. at the Troubadour. And it literally, like, his career was at a decent level, and he exploded. very quickly just because of that Troubadour performance. And it's become one of the most famous performances in rock and roll and rock and pop music ever. And my dream venue to perform at is the Troubadour. And it literally has a capacity of like 300 people. And it's not a big venue, and small artists play it all the time. And I've already made the decision that like I'm not going to perform at the Troubadour until I feel I am ready, because no matter what happens, it will be one of the moments of my career I remember the most, because it is my dream venue. And then there's like Madison Square Garden, the O2 in London. There's Dodger Stadium. There's all these places. But I really do think it's probably the Troubadour, or like a venue in Iowa, like in Cedar Rapids where I'm from, like performing at like, what do they call it? The Power Station? Like this small arena. Like it's not size for me. That's what she said. Ha ha ha. Hopefully. Not to me though. If you're listening to the audio, I'm winking at the camera. It's not size for me. Ha 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 ha. Oh God. But it's not the capacity of the venue I want to perform at. It's just like what it means emotionally, and in terms of everything I've come from and everything I know and am inspired by. And then my dream opener, if I would want someone to open for me, well, I'm like a super small artist. So for me to be like, I would want Olivia Rodrigo to open for me is absurd. So I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna do a little Missy Elliott. I'm gonna flip it and reverse it, or however those words go. And I'm gonna say if I could be somebody's opener, if I had an artist I would want to dream open for, that's like a current artist, I would either go like Olivia Rodrigo. It's basically like my favorite artist right now: Olivia Rodrigo, Gracie Abrams, Caroline Polachek, the 1975. Taylor Swift, obviously, but that's a whole nother level. Conan Gray, Harry Styles, The Weeknd, all these people. Just like the big artists. It would probably be more like if I had to pick one or two, it would probably be either like Conan Gray or Caroline Polachek or the 1975. There's a lot. Pick one. If you like one, pick one of them. You like them all, pick them all. I don't care. Figure it out. You're a big boy. You'll figure it out. I don't know. Yeah. Question 4. If you did a song with the 1975, what would it be called and why? It would be called One of Us Dated Taylor Swift and One of Us Would Like to. No. Well, actually, when Maddie writes, he's pretty on the nose, so he actually might go for that, but I can't go for that. No, I know can do. I've been getting back into the Hall & Oates again. They were my first concert. But anyways, gosh, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to come up with a title, but it would probably be less of like an upbeat song, and I would probably want a more like Jesus Christ, God Bless America 2005. That style of song, like the song you did with Phoebe Bridgers, or I would want more of more of a low-key song, more of a guitar, acoustic song, slower. I would want to have more of a song like that with them, or like, so this is Sebastian's favorite, the 1975 song, or one of. His favorite 1975 song is mine, which is Happiness. Another one of his favorite songs, which he really got me into, was the song Narcissist, which is a feature with, I can't remember the name of the other artist that sings it, or I would want to do a song like that, because that song is, it's such a good song. So one of those two. In terms of what it would be called, I couldn't tell you. Not a clue. Not the sliver of an idea. Number 5, last question from Sebastian. He came up with 4 great questions, and then he threw me a softball, because this is the worst question. Because the answer is obvious. Dream duet. I wonder who. If you're listening to the audio, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you're watching the video, I wonder who it would be. I wonder. I wonder if I could duet with anyone. Who it would be? It's a really hard Elton John. And that's it. That's it. Elton John. I'm just like I need to not. Here's the deal. From now on, I'm not going to do this because any opportunity for me to talk about my like favorite artists, Elton John and Billy Joel. Any opportunity for me to talk about them, number 2 is Billy Joel, just like my Dream Jam session and one of the last podcasts. Dream duet, Elton John, Billy Joel. One of the two. Elton John's number 1, Billy Joel's number 2. I should say that from now on, I'm just going to like negate those two because every question that is even remotely similar to that, they're always going to be my answer. But I'm not going to say that because you know what? They're my favorite. Elton John and Billy Joel. What do you want from me? I'm nothing but if not consistent. I don't think that I said that correctly. I'm nothing if consistent. I'm nothing if not consistent. I'm consistent, motherfuckers. All right? So, like, suck it up. You're going to hear me talk about Elton John and Billy Joel a lot. And a few other artists. Deal with it. Deal. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Get over it. Yeah, I don't know. But that's the end of the questions. Sebastian came up with 4 bangers, and then he threw me a softball because he was high as a kite. And question 5, he was like, meh. Gave him an easy one. But that was pretty good. Good questions from my sister. Good questions from Sebastian. You want to send me in questions, be part of the podcast, get a little shouts out? Go for it. Send me a little DM. Give me a comment. Something. I would prefer a DM because then I can have them all organized. But whatever floats your boat. I appreciate y'all watching. Anyways, I don't have anything else. Those were all the questions for this episode. This is coming out in not long. Like this podcast, I'm recording it. You got a buzzer beater podcast. It is Wednesday at 9:00 right now. This comes out in, oh God, I'm bad at math. I think 7 hours. So I have to, this was hot off the presses. It's just, you'll touch the paper, you pick it up off the doorstep. This one's a hot one. It's hot. It's fresh. And also, what's new and fresh? We'll talk about that. My new single, mentioned it at the beginning, Searching for You, coming out in a few hours, coming out tonight if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, or even better, it's already out. Give it a listen, give it a stream, shout it out, add it to a playlist. Everything y'all do, every little bit counts. Every little thing she does is magic. That's a Police song. My song's called Searching for You. I hope y'all like it. I'm going to start experimenting more with some other stuff, and I would like to not have it be like 6 weeks in between or 2 months in between the next song I release. So I'd like to get something out back to y'all sooner. But just let me know what y'all think. I really appreciate the support. I love the podcast. I feel like it's something good we got going here. I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope it's entertaining for y'all. If you got any recommendations, things you want me to talk about, anything else, let me know. I sing better than that on the song. But I think that's it. I really don't have anything else for y'all. So, as always, have a great night. Have a great day. Wherever you are, whenever you are. Smile, laugh. God bless. Do all those things. Everything else. Be happy. Don't worry about a thing because every little thing is going to be all right. And other than that, have a great night, guys. Great day. Everything. I have been Landyn Zane, and this, as always, is For the Record. Bye.